Howdy Yins, and welcome to the Iron Turners. And I'm your host, Cletus Ray Archibald Ignatius Remington the Third. That's right. And today on the show, we're going to talk about all kind of shit. We're going to start out with something that happened today at work. I was down at lunchtime, and I heard the Spanish fellas talking. Now listen, I'm going to throw the disclaimer out there for you. If you ain't got youngins, this probably don't concern you, and it probably ain't even interesting. But if you do have youngins, you might want to listen. So I'm down there at lunchtime talking, and I kept hearing a couple of them Spanish guys saying, "Say siete, say siete." And I was like, what in the hell are they doing, man? And the fella at work was like, well, you don't know about the whole 6-7 thing that's going around? All the kids are talking 6-7, they doing this shit right here. And I said, yeah, actually I do. My youngins do it all the time. That shit gets on my nerves. I said, you know what? I done got that fixed though. And I'm gonna give you a secret. Here it is. Here's how you fix it. So what happened was, my youngest started coming home doing that. And I was like, what are you talking about? What's this 6-7 shit all about? It's just dumb. And they're like, it's just a fad at school, whatever. I said, all right, look. You just got to stop with that shit. It's annoying, it's dumb, and I don't like it. And he said, all right, Daddy, we'll quit. But they kept on going. I said, all right, I'm going to fix you little son of bitches. I said, next time one of you does that 6-7 stupid shit, you're going to stay in the corner, and it's going to be for either 6 or 7 minutes, and I ain't sure which it's going to be. Well, of course, they done run and did it again. Put them in the corner, over and over and over. I'm like, man, well, that shit ain't working. So I said, well, I remember what used to work on me when I was a youngin'. I had to write sentences for damn just about everything. I said, well, all right, we'll try this now. I said, listen, youngins, next time you some bitches say 6-7, you're going to write 6-7 67 times. All right? That's what's going to happen. And they said, all right, Daddy, we ain't going to do it no more anyway. Long story short, of course they did it again. So I was like, well, damn. Y'all done wrote a bunch of sentences. Now I got pages that say 6-7 all over them. I got to hear the shit. I'm like, all right, well. So I come up with something else. And this one, I'm going to tell you, it worked. Check this out. Every time my youngins do that dumb 6-7 shit, you know what I hit them with? 5-5. 5-5. I ain't kidding. And every time they said it, I would hit them with 5-5. They were like, kind of took back. They were like, Daddy, why you keep saying 5-5? It's 6-7. I said, well, every time you youngins say 6-7, us older folks say 5-5. It's a response. I'm going to tell you what, I got Mama on board with it. I said, Mama, listen, anytime you hear them youngins say that 6-7 stupid shit, you got to hit them with 5-5. And she was like, Cletus, you're crazier than hell. I ain't doing that. I said, listen, baby, it's working. Because now I'm getting under their skin. The corner didn't work. The sentences didn't work. What the hell else are you going to do? Try it. She says, all right, honey, I'll do it. I said, but you can't just say 5-5. You got to do the hand signal, and you got to sound like a damn robot. You got to go 5-5. She was like, all right, hell yeah. So, guess what? Now me and Mama's on their asses with it. With the 5-5. I ain't heard nothing about no damn 6-7 in probably almost a week and a half now. And they was doing that dumb shit every day. So, take it for what it's worth. I'm telling you, it worked for us. You just got to be as animated. You got to go over the top with it. And when you see them doing this shit right here, you got to get more animated and get louder. And I'm telling you, it works. So I'm going to leave it at that. satiete ain't got the same ring. So the Spanish kids, I don't reckon they're doing that. And it's the 6'7" crew that just gets up under my damn skin, and I figured it out. So I'm gonna pass this info along the ends. And if you got youngins and it works, my method works, then what you can do is thank me later, alright?